Hey, hey! Happy Hump Day to everybody in Raider Nation. And for all you Doyer fans that are anticipating World Series action, I think that starts tomorrow. But if you're old school Raider fans, I'm going to have on a guest tomorrow as well. I'll cite that a little bit more at the end of the show. But right now, my God, I got to clean up all my stuff. The recollections of Captain Jack when he gets into his office. I am very happy to bring to you, and I was talking to this gentleman in pregame, shall we say. I said, hey, Reggie, have we ever done anything before? He goes, no. And I'm like, and I literally, and he'll tell you this, I was literally slapping my hands because I thought I've done an interview with Reggie before. And that's my fault, because I will say that the one thing I like about the Raiders of the I hate saying generation before, but it is that. The people that talk, you know, Lincoln Kennedy talks, Jerry Robinson talks, Phil Villapiano definitely talks. Okay, that's not a slam at Phil. Phil loves to talk. But they're personable, and they talk and they give you insight, and they're down to earth. They're like talking to your Uncle Phil for Phil Villapiano. Oh, World Series is on Friday. Thanks, Jack. Julie, thank you. Whatever that is. I can't see emojis in StreamYard, but screw it. I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for being here. If you're not here, shame on you, because you get a chance to hear from, and I was reading this, probably the most dynamic person, and yes, he's going to probably poo-poo it, the most dynamic person and cornerstone of the Raiders defense that won in Super Bowl 18. Because without Reggie clogging the middle and everybody feeding off him, the Raiders defense is not what it is. So I am very proud to bring to my show, well overdue. And Reggie, I'm going to move you over so that if people they don't want to see me. They want to see the comments. They want to see you. Mr. Reggie Kinlaw, sir, thank you for being here. It's been years in the making, and even like a month or two in the making in short time. So I thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. And again, shame on me for not having done that. And trust me, as I told you before, you can come on anytime, because as stated, every time I've ever seen you, you sit down and we just talk like it's Reggie Kinlaw and just somebody that wants to know. And there's no airs about you. You know, you're just, I don't know how better to say you're an awesome dude. That's like a compliment I can say. So
I like to be real, Jack. I like to sit down and talk to fans and get their opinion, and I'll give them my opinion. And everything I do today, it's my opinion, okay? I don't want nobody to blow it out of proportion. It's my opinion.
Okay. And trust me, I for lack of anything, I say this, I always ask my guests before I even go into any questions. I said, is there anything that you'd rather not talk about? Is there anything that might be a little, I don't want to say? And I asked Reggie, he said, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. So Reggie, I do want to give a preview for those that don't know him. Reggie's from Florida, and that is the way to say it. There's no I in Florida. It's Florida. It's South Florida. I didn't realize that out of Miami Springs, and I know that high school, because that high school is a very dominant high school in Florida. And then from there, you went to Oklahoma, and I'm thinking that is right after the Selman brothers had left to go to the pros?
No, well, Leroy and Dewey was still there my freshman year.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I played behind Dewey, and Leroy was in the I think the World Football League, the oldest brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now so he did the world. See, I didn't know either. So he was in the WAFL for a year before the Buccaneers drafted him, and Dewey 1-2 for the Bucks.
No. Lucius is the other brother. It's three of them.
Oh, okay.
It's three brothers.
Man, I didn't know that. I just know Leroy and Dewey.
No, it's Lucius, Leroy, and Dewey.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lucius is the oldest. He used to play in the middle, and Leroy and Dewey played the tackles. So my freshman year when I got there, Lucius got drafted in the World Football League or Canada, one of the two, and Leroy and Dewey was still there. And those are two that got drafted 1 and 2 by the Buccaneers after my sophomore year. No, after my freshman year.
Yeah,
it was three brothers.
mean, and I tell you, when you go 1-2, 1-2, because, and again, I'm here in Tampa, and obviously in Tampa, it's Leroy and Dewey, and actually some of the older Bucks fans, they forget about Dewey. I don't, because I actually know about things. 1 and 2 by the Bucks, and those were the very first draft choices from John McKay, and he didn't even take anybody from USC. He took the Selman brothers 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, Leroy he was a beast. He was definitely a beast. Out of all three of them, I think he was a better player. Much better player. And
may he rest from again, a great player that he is. So you're at Oklahoma, and they did win a national championship. What year was that?
75, my freshman year.
Okay, so you walk into a place like, hey, I'm here and I'm getting a ring, and I'm sure you were. I mean, yeah, you had all three brothers, but I'm sure you played some part. Yeah, you weren't a redshirt freshman. I mean, at those times, it was very rare to have a redshirt freshman year, was it not?
No, it was, but I did special teams. I was on the traveling team. I made the traveling team, so some games I played special team as a freshman.
Well, tell me, anybody that is as big and as fast as you coming down the field to either make a tackle or to block somebody off of a tackle, I don't want to be no part of. Okay, I don't want no part of that.
Jack, I ain't that big, Jack.
Yeah, but when you're moving, the momentum and the jersey and the fact that you're playing for OU, that makes you like at least 3 inches bigger, 20 pounds heavier, and about 7 inches wider. So that's always the thing.
Okay, I got you.
Now, talk to me about your college years at Oklahoma. Anything that that's really the players you might have played against, the best games that you remember. Just give us insight, because we're going to get into your Raider years, but I like to go back to. I mean, I went with Lincoln. I went back to high school in San Diego because Lincoln played at various programs in San Diego. So I like to go back to the high school and then the college. That's overlooked a lot, and I think that that's still important on what made you the professional that you were, going back to your earlier days.
Well, in high school, I started as a defensive lineman my sophomore year, then up to my senior year. Then I got a lot of scholarship offers from different schools: Ohio State, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Penn State, Oklahoma. Some are everywhere. We had a great team. I think we missed the playoff my senior year. We was 9-1. I didn't make no playoffs during high school. Gene Upshaw from University of Oklahoma used to come out and recruit me. And I just fell in love with the guy because one of the reasons I went to Oklahoma from high school was that they showed all the OU games in Miami. And I used to watch these three brothers play defensive line. And Leroy and Dewey played the same position I played in high school, nose guard. And the way they played, I mean, it was so intense. And I mean, they were just getting after everybody, just manhandling everybody. So the idea came in my mind is that I want to learn how to play this position on a higher level if I ever make it to the pros. So I'm going to Oklahoma so these guys could teach me how to play this position. So I end up in Oklahoma. I guess that year we had like maybe 12 or 14 freshmen come in. And you want to hear some of the names? Billy Sims,
Okay.
Kenny King, Thomas Lott, Greg Robinson, Phil and Paul Table, myself, Willie Shepard, Uwe von Schumer that went to the Miami Dolphins as a kicker. It was a bunch of great guys came out that year. And, George Cumby, Darryl Hunt. All these guys was in my class in 75, and we got to Oklahoma. And I think that was one of the best recruiting class they had in a while. Because out of those guys, it was 10 of us got drafted. It's 1979. 10 guys, and nobody talk about that. 10 guys got drafted from Oklahoma that year. So check this out. My freshman year, I had a roommate. He was a quarterback. He was like one of the, he was on a walk-on and stuff like that. So my freshman year, I was ineligible to play football. So I had to stay at summer school. So guess who became my roommate during the summer? Kenny King.
There you go.
So we became roommates my sophomore, junior, senior year. Nobody knows this. We was roommates at Oklahoma. And I tell you, Oklahoma, the fans, University of Oklahoma is like a professional football team in Norman, Oklahoma. Every Saturday, the whole town shut down and everybody's at that stadium. It's a home game. Or if it's a away game, everybody at home watching the game. And I tell you, I had learned so much how to practice, how to be a professional player from guys like Joe Washington, Tinker Owens, the Selmer brothers, Billy Brooks, Terry Peterson. The list just go on and on and on. And I tell you, the first time I got there, I was homesick. I was ready to go home. But my dad always told me, you start something, you finish it. So I sticked around, and I think it was 4 of the best years of my life because I had a chance to meet some great players and be a part of their life, and they're a part of my life. And to this day, we still communicate with each other. We check up on each other all the time. Even the older guys that was before me, and then plus my class, we still communicate with each other.
Well, see, that's the camaraderie there.
Yes.
And that's that was a Barry Switzer team,
right? Yes, Barry Switzer. Larry Lacewell was our defense coordinator.
I gotta ask though, you have all these offers, and I was listening. You weren't nobody from Florida or Miami.
Well, I apologize. University of Florida, University of Miami, Florida State. All the schools was after me. Matter of fact, I signed the letter of intent with University of Florida.
Hey, there you go. See, that's another reason why I like you, because you at least had an LOI from being my Gators.
Yeah. Well, but see, Jack, the thing about that, at that time when I came out in '75, only team was winning was University of Florida. They had a mediocre team. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like to win, man. I'm, that's my philosophy. I want to play hard to win, and the guys that I have met in my football journey, that's what they're about too. I have met some great football players. I mean, that all they want to do is win. I mean, all the other bullshit aside, but just win. So that's why I chose Oklahoma. And, I've never been away from home. And I had an opportunity out of the 4 years I was there. We played in the Orange Bowl 3 years out of the 4 years I was there. So I got a chance to come home and play in front of my family.
Right.
So
that was like your other home game that not too many people at Oklahoma had. You had the home game bowl game being
right.
You were what was that big shoot what conference was that back then? That because I've
Big
gone
Eight. The
Big Eight.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the Big Eight.
So
now
for
it's
those
the Big 12.
yeah, I was going to say, for those that don't know, the Big Eight was then, and actually they weren't the Big Ten, because the Big Ten is what the big now, whatever they're calling the Big that stuff up. Well, no, I'm talking about the real Big. Not I shouldn't say the real Big Ten, but the Big Ten from up north, which is just the big, and the Big 12 is the southwestern type of like Middle America. Large school, Oklahoma, Texas, that are gone now, or actually Texas left and A&M left. But back then, they were still there. By the way, I got to, again, and I apologize if I shotgun a bunch of things because I think of things at the time. What are your feelings? Because you went to school, you had your scholarship, you got your full degree, you got something out of it, you actually went to the pros. What are your thoughts on the conference shakeups and NIL?
Well, we said a long time ago, back in the day, we should be getting paid. I mean, we was getting, back in those days, we was getting $15 allowance, to do your clothes and stuff. But, you're getting a free education, you're getting free house and board, you're getting a meal. I mean, Oklahoma, most training tables for football players, they only open up during the football season. Ours was year round.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't complain. I mean, they put it this way, they took care of me. They took care of a lot of players. So nowadays, I think, like I said, I think they should get paid. And I'm not mad at nobody that's getting money, that's getting paid to do anything. But when you see a freshman just got in college doing a commercial, and you got all these other guys been busting their butt for the last 3 years, don't have a commercial, they probably get money on the side, but what about the guys that help you get where you at to make that money, to make that commercial, What about the little guys, I mean, I know the media, they pumps people up and they make you look good, but think about the little guys sometime. I'm all for it, if they can make money, and then you get to a point that some of these kids are making more money than they're gonna make when they get in the pros.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you taking a cut and pay to go to the pros.
That's ridiculous. And actually the players that are making big NIL money that might not cut it in the pros, that's why they usually stick around for the 4th and the 5th year, because continuing to make that money. And if they're smart, the operative word is if they're smart, they're banking that just in case their pro career doesn't amount to as much as what they think.
Yeah.
So I mean it, and I'm glad that you at least mentioned there are the players that had the $100 handshakes and things like that. For those that don't know, the boosters would come and you go, hey, great play today, and you shake their hand, and there's a nice $100 or two in there. It happens. I mean, and it's for folks that deserved it. Back then, they had to grease the palms to make things happen.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, and again, I always wanted to add, because again, the NIL is it's a newer thing, and as you said, you got these kids, and we're calling them kids. They're 18, 19 years old coming in, and they've already signed an NIL deal worth a couple $100,000, if not a cool million, if they are somebody of note. And it's like, wow, instant millionaire, and you just left high school. Good thing if you can have it, make it happen. But that's material. That's immaterial.
Well, what about this kid from Tennessee, the quarterback that wanted $7 million? Did you read about that? He ended up at UCLA, and they only gave him $2 million. I'm like, okay.
He was a quote unquote Tennessee free agent. He was trying to negotiate his NIL deal, and Tennessee found out, and I can't remember. I think I believe he's an Asian Pacific Islander of that name. And I'm going to screw up the name. But I was trying to remember. He wanted to negotiate his deal. He gets a downgrade on the deal because Tennessee found out he wasn't worth his deal. That's why he opted out. He opted out. So free agency starts in college, and at least they learn the ropes how to do that, how to get the best deal. And it's unfortunate, folks, but that professional sports, and I'll even say this, professional sports actually starts in high school, because they shop you around, and you have various high school coaches that are trying to get these guys to commit, and they bring their families and them in, so you can go to high school, or you have one of the prep academies that there's a big one in Florida. I can't remember what the name. It's right down the street, basically, and it's a prep academy, and they have all the best players at this high school, so you can go to the best universities. So it's already starting. It's already starting.
Yeah, it has. It has.
So I sorry, I sometimes get lost. I'm like the old dude in the movie Up with the dog. It goes squirrel. I get off a thought. So, and welcome to the show, Raider Transplant. Raider Transplant's one of my kind of like my co-hosts. Whenever I can't do shows or I'm doing something, Transplant, big Raider fan, and a big boxing aficionado. If you are a boxing guy, Reggie, that's the guy. And he lives in Vegas with you, sir.
Oh, really?
He lives in Vegas with you. So if there's a fight that's in Vegas that's big, with the flashing lights, get with him, because he knows people. He knows people. And when I
tell you the truth, I'm not a big boxing fan.
I wasn't as much either, but he'll take you around, and like he'll show you around different things. And it's not necessarily the boxing, because I'm more of a boxing fan than I am like MMA. I like old school pugilism, that's good stuff. But it's the art of what's going on around the ring, because at least it's an event in Vegas, and you're right there. So just in case you are, I'll give him or I'll give you his information. Okay, so let's go.
Sounds good.
Oklahoma, and you're drafted first round. Oh, before we go there, the Orange Bowls that you were saying, was there any super memorable Orange Bowl games? Because I know Oklahoma was involved in a lot of those memorable games. Anything that comes to mind that's really memorable?
Well, 79, we playing against Nebraska. Now, we play Nebraska every year, and they beat us in Lincoln, and I think they end up losing the game. So we end up playing each other in Orange Bowl, which was unknown. It shouldn't have, it was unknown. I had a great game. I mean, I thought it was a great game. I had MVP of the game, and then right after the game, I flew out to Hawaii to play in the Hula Bowl with a bunch of other superstars. But Oklahoma, it was, like one of the other big games is Texas. I mean, every year we play Texas. So my sophomore year, I'm starting, and I'm trying to figure out what's the big thing about Texas. And to tell you the truth, half of the guys on our team is from Texas, and they can't stand University of Texas. So my roommate Kenny King, he's from Texas, couldn't stand him, and I'm from Miami. I didn't get the picture. It didn't click with me, and then I start hearing things about how they treat people from Oklahoma, and this is a big rivalry game. This is a Red River game, and everybody and your uncle's gonna be at this game, and I'm like, oh, really? So it didn't take me too long to realize that this was an important game. And as the years went by, I can't. Hook'em Horns is down. I mean, can't stand them. Can't stand them to that day. So those are, when in Colorado was a big rivalry for us. Matter of fact, a couple of guys that played for the Raiders, Mike Davis, God bless him, and Otis McKinney, they played for Colorado. We played against each other. Then, like Nebraska, we had Rick Burns. He came one year, played with us. Reuben Vaughn, Colorado. So those, was some big moments. Every game was expected. We were supposed to win every game. No doubt about it. I mean, every game we played, we were supposed to win it. So that's the mentality they have at the University of Oklahoma at that time.
And which is a great mentality to shift over to your pro career. So you said you went to the Hula Bowl, and of course after the Hula Bowl, how big was the combine back then? I know it's gotten extremely huge, but how was it when you were coming out, when you had to go up for the pre-draft stuff to get into the pros when you were coming out?
They didn't have all that, Jack. It was no combine. What they did, they had scouts come out to the school, and you run, you do drills and stuff like that, and then they flew you out to take a physical, and that was it. There wasn't no, and then when you got drafted, it was a phone call.
Right.
It wasn't the big hoorah they got right now. They got the little showcase with all the parents and your whole family, and you dress in 2-piece, 3-piece suits, and nice hair, nice shoes and stuff. It was a phone call.
Well, see, that the reason why I asked that is because, and I knew that it wasn't anything like what it is today, but I wanted to see if there was at least anything but because it started out early in Indianapolis, and it's already blown up to the way it is. But the reason why I asked that is because I've asked pretty much every player that I've interviewed that's a Raider. I said, what contact did you have with the Raiders before you were drafted? And some of them said that, well, I was told this, that, and the other thing. What were you told, or what inklings did you have by your agent and or the people that you were around before you were drafted as to who was going to take you and who was interested?
No one, nobody. I don't know if you know, but I was a 12th round draft choice.
Okay.
12th round, and the Raiders picked me up. I think it was 232 player that already went before me, and I was the 232nd player. I didn't have no contact. Matter of fact, that's how my draft day went. Like I said, me and Kenny King was roommates. Our senior year, we move out, we get an apartment. Okay, draft day comes around. We're sitting around the apartment waiting on a phone call. So I think the first day they went from 1 to 6 rounds. They did 6 rounds. Okay. No, I don't know. I think that might be right. Kenny King got a call. He got drafted in the 3rd round. Okay, the 6th round went by. I'm still sitting. I'm thinking I'm gonna go maybe 4th or 5th. 6 rounds go around and no phone call. So the next day I wake up, I'm not sitting around for the draft. I'm thinking all kinds of negative things going in my mind, like, you're too small, you're not NFL material and stuff like that. So I go to the gym and play basketball. I was playing basketball, and when I found out that I got drafted by the Raiders, one of my friends came in the gym and said, "You got drafted by the Raiders." And I said, "What round?" He said, "The 12th round." But when they said Raider, I didn't even think about the 12th round. It just went over my head, because 2 of the teams I always loved when I was growing up, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. I always wanted to be one of those guys, because Mean Joe Green is one of my idols, and I watched him for a long time. And that's how I found out that Ron Wolf, who was the GM, Hall of Famer. This is a story I don't think a lot of people don't know.
Now, see, that's why we're here, Reggie. We like to hear the stories that nobody knows.
He told me after Al Davis passed away, he goes, "I came to Oklahoma and I went in the training room," because most of the scouts and managers and stuff, they go in the training room to get all your physical record. So he said he goes in the training room, and he run into my old defensive line coach, which was Rex Knox. And he goes, "Who you here looking for?" He goes, "I want the medical report on Reggie Kinlaw." And he said, "Well, nah, you don't want him. I got this guy named Phil Tabor. You might want him." And Ron said, "No, I want his records." So he got back during the draft, and he told Al that he wanted to draft me. Al said, "Oh, he's too small. He's not big enough. That position he played." Because I'm playing those guys at 2. At that time, I was in high school, 235. No, college, 235. He ain't big enough, blah, 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 blah. So they drafted me anyway. Then I get to camp. So Mr. Davis told Ron Wolf, if I don't make the team, he was going to fire him.
Oh, man.
And I said, "No, are you serious?" He said, he tell me this after my career's over with. And, Mr. Davis gone, though. But I said, "Oh, wow. So I guess you got the last laugh, huh?" So he calls me Mr. Wolf, his best draft choice. But,
Well, you know what? You were, because you were, Reggie, and I'll tell you why. Because we all know the accolades that were given to you by your teammates, but the fact is that you made sure that Ron Wolf continued to work for the Raiders, which got him all his accolades, which got him into the position that he went to with Green Bay, which got him further accolades, which got him into the Hall of Fame as Ron Wolf. So you were his best draft pick, because had none of that happened, had you not made the team, history would be different. He went
and got a big old name, Reggie White.
He did, but it's like, what would have happened had he not, went the next step. If he got fired, I think things might have been different. I mean, yeah, Ron Wolf is Ron Wolf. I get that, but
Yeah,
there,
he would have got another job somewhere.
yeah, but still, I'm gonna say you're the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame, Reggie.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you and Reggie White are the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, the two Reggies, huh?
Exactly.
Right.
So but you get out now. What was your first interaction with Al Davis? Because again, he's muttering. He's like, "What? This guy is too small." Well, let me ask. Were you at least fast enough for Al?
Oh, I was quick. I mean, I ran a 4.6. And I had good leverage. I thought I was pretty decent in my position. I wasn't big enough. I mean, I took on. I got a lot of guys double teaming me and wham blocking me, and I thought I did all right.
Yeah. Well, see, even Angelo says, and right there, Reggie Kinlaw, 320, 12th round, 320th pick, and the great Al Davis knew talent and heart. I would have to say, Angelo, Ron Wolf knew talent and heart, and then it became where it was like Al Davis knew. Oh yeah, I had him all the time, But it's true. Without you as the anchor, as nose tackle, who's to say how good the other your ends would have played their position, because you were there clogging the middle, and again, being an offensive guy, I know how to do this and that. Granted, they let you use your hands a little bit more than when I was playing, school. But the fact that you knew how to pop up and throw and manipulate and swim, your technique, your quickness, and whatever the weight you were at was obviously good enough to perform in the excellence that you did.
Yeah, and to remind you, my rookie year, Dave Pear, they had just drafted. They traded for Dave Pear, which was a nose guard from Tampa Bay, All Pro, and I had to study behind him, and that's another story. But
well, that can be another story. You can get to that after you finish this thought.
Then we had Dave Browning, which was a second round pick, and then we had John Matuzak. They picked up from Tampa, 2 years ago or something?
Yeah, Tuz was that. Well, I think it was the Oilers, then Redskins. Yeah, I think he went from the Oilers to, I think, the Redskins. I'm not looking. This is just up here.
Yeah,
so I know he was drafted. He drafted by the Oilers. I think the Oilers got rid of him. I think he went to the Redskins, and then he was a Raider after the Redskins couldn't do anything to him. That was Tuz. Pear was out of Tampa. I think his number was 74. Browning was 73, and Matusak was 72.
Yeah.
So at least I got the numbers right too.
Yeah, we that defensive line, we had Willie Jones, we had Cedric Hartman that came from 49ers. My sophomore year. That's the year my second year. Joe Campbell, God bless his soul. And they brought in a guy by the name of Earl Leggett, a defensive line coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talking about a guy that played the position and don't take no shit from nobody. I mean, nobody. Matuzak or Howie Lau or nobody. He's a big guy too. And he taught us, how to play the game. This one of the best defensive line coach I had through all my career. And I bless his heart, I get worship the ground he walks on, because I tell everybody this, you can, all the kids that come out of college, all right, they either can make the pros or can't make the pros. They either can be coach or not coach, but You take a guy like Howie Long from Villanova. I mean, I don't think Howie was a All-American and Kodak All-American, all that stuff like that. But we had a coach that turned Howie into, I'm not saying he wasn't a great player, turned him into All-Pro and a Hall of Famer. I mean, because he accepted what the coach was throwing down. We all accepted. We had no choice. Earl was a big guy. He probably would have kicked our ass or something. But you got to buy in what they coaching, and then the coaches got to coach. That's just the bottom line. Jack, we had 8 coaches when I was with the Raider. 8 for every position. Now I see a bunch of coaches on the sideline, and what are they coaching?
Yeah, well, remind me to get to that when we talk about the Raiders of now.
Okay.
What are they coaching? Because that's a damn good question. What are they coaching? And Reggie was known as the quiet. Yeah, I was going to say, Gogo even said this: the quiet assassin by 3 Mile Lyle.
Yep.
Okay. Now, any interesting, because you were around both Lyle and Twos, any interesting stories of Lyle or Twos or Howie you'd like to share? Because those are the names that everybody likes to put. Oh, and Greg, by the way, too. And when I talked to Greg, it says, remember the all-time sacks leader for the Raiders. And he pretty much makes sure that Greg Townsend is the all-time sacks leader for the Raiders.
Who, me?
But no, Greg. Greg will always say that.
Because I know that.
Yeah, when he shakes your hand, he's like, "Remember, I'm the all-time sacks leader for the Raiders." Said, yes,
that's great.
I do know that. I do know that.
That's
what
great.
story you'd like to just, because again, these are your shipmates, the guys that you spend the most time with along the line. Any fun stories that you're allowed to say, not get him in trouble?
With Matuzak, God bless his soul, he just was a big man, and he liked to party, okay? Twos liked to party, but Twos will party during the week, but he'll show up on Sundays. And then, with the incident at the Super Bowl 15, he called himself going out there, make sure all the rookies are not on Bourbon Street. Twos was out there partying himself, but he very nice guy. I mean, will give you the back off his shirt, the shirt off his back. He just liked the party. Okay, just put it that way. I mean, there are some things I can't tell you, Jack. I mean,
I got you. For anything that you might want to know about Twos, if you're not reading Cruising with the Twos, a great book, that can give you some insights there.
Yeah.
So I'll drop that one.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Lau, when he came in, wow, totally different person. I mean, this guy, he's another guy that give the shirt off his back to you. He always invites you to over to his house for dinner. Lovely family, but when practice and game time, stay the hell away from him. Okay, just don't even look that way. That's how we. I mean, he loved me. I loved him. I was glad he was on our team, but he's not a partier. He take his professional real serious in all kinds of ways. I mean, during the season and off the season, I'll put it that way. But I was so happy for him that he had a chance to win the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, I gave him a big hug, and when I seen the tears coming down his eyes after that Super Bowl, I mean, that just just happy for him, man. Just really happy for him. Howie was Howie. You know, we always thought Howie was going to be on TV because here's a guy that, you know, we watch films, you know, all during the week and stuff, but nobody wrote down the details and the plays and all how he always had in the locker room. He would pass you some he written down that he's seen in the film and the breakdown of their offense. Real smart, intelligent. So when he started doing that, I said, "This guy gonna be a sportscaster or something." Greg Townsend, wow, when he first got to the league, I had to calm him down. he was ready to go as soon as he got to the Raiders. At one time, he thought he should be starting. I said, "Wait your turn," because that's what had to happen to me. I had to wait my turn. I said, you know, wait your turn, buddy, and turn out to be all pro. Lead the team, lead the Raider in sacks. Will always look like that way. Then we had another guy, Bill Pacquiao.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Bill, number 71.
Yeah, he real quiet guy, but he was a monster. We kind of played the same position. He didn't like playing nose guard. He said, "I don't know how the hell you do it." Howie told me the same thing too. Howie said he would never play that position in life. But it's the anchor of the defense. It's the dirty work. I enjoyed it. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I'd do it. It was just fun. It was, just in the middle of everything. I mean, the action. That's where all our action is at, right in the middle. And my responsibility was two gap, one gap and two gap, and I tried to take care of it. If I didn't, I had Bob Nelson and Matt Miller in the back of me cleaning up my mess.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we had this other guy, Dave Stahl. He came in. I think Dave was from Tampa too. We had a great defensive line, great, and Johnny Robertson was a good player too. We had some studs, man. We had some studs.
Yeah, Yo came in, said that he gives you a shout that Yo's fiance and him ate breakfast with you and your wife and Jeff Barnes last cruise. A nice conversation about how soft players are now. Don't worry, Yo. We're gonna get to the NFL of today later on. And again, Navman, who's an old bastard like me, he's a retired Navy senior chief. He says, "Us old motherfuckers got to stick together." So
yes, we do, sir. Yes, we do.
We will.
Yes,
so,
we do.
That's why I said I'm like talking about your experiences in the locker room, because again, the Raiders of your era, from like say the three Super Bowls from 77 to 83. Granted, it was the 84 season that they won down in. And again, I remember when you were talking about how when Lyle won the Super Bowl down in Tampa, and they show him on the screen with his fist like that, but you can see the tears in his eyes, how important it was to him and to you, especially doing what you did. You had lost to Washington in the regular season and came back and beat him in the Super Bowl. In fact, it was the defensive assistant, not Charlie Sumner, but the defensive assistant that told Charlie, "Hey, remember they threw that screen pass to Joe Washington in Washington. Watch for that." And that's when Jack Squirick, may he rest in peace. Good. I got a big signed picture of Jack in my. You got to come over to my house, by the way, Reggie, and see all the good things here as well.
Okay.
But, you beat Washington in real badly, I would say. And even in Super Bowl 15, if I'm not mistaken, you lost to the Eagles in the regular season and then beat them in the Super Bowl. So
Yes.
you always clean up the messes.
Yes.
Always clean up the messes. So what was obviously, if you were to rate your Super Bowl appearances, what was your favorite Super Bowl and why?
My favorite Super Bowl, well, I guess you could say my second year in the league, you go to the Super Bowl, being a 12th round draft choice, that, that might have a part to it. But I think it was the Redskins when we played in Tampa Bay. And I had got 40 tickets, family, friends, high school buddies. They're all watching in the stands. It was a great feeling. And to hear the whole, 2 weeks about the Hogs. I mean, the Hogs gonna do this, the Hogs gonna do that. The Raiders got the lightest defensive line in the league because, Howie was 260. I was 245. Lau was probably 270. That is pretty light compared to today. But and once they kicked that ball off, the lights went off. I mean, the lights went on, everybody. And one part I will always remember, when we was about to go on defense, and I was standing on the sideline, and the great Willie Brown, Hall of Famer, okay? Great Willie Brown, Hall of Famer, took both his hands and pounded on my shoulder pads, and he said, "Reggie, let's go get them MF."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that fired me up so bad, man, to have a guy like that, just to rub against you, the Hall of Famer, Willie Brown. And he know what it's all about. I mean, so I think it was Washington game. And not only to see Lau in tears, but another guy, Oklahoma guy, Greg Pruitt, played all these years, and he finally got a Super Bowl ring. It's that, Chevy Jordan, Hasselbeck, them guys like that, Dave Stahl, that they put in the work and was able to, accomplish something in their career to say they got one. Because you got a lot of guys that played a lot of years, never had that opportunity to be in that spotlight or been in that spotlight, but don't know how to win it. And we always say, you beat me once, you ain't gonna beat me twice. That was our mentality.
And as said, like I said, you go and the two that you were in, obviously, you go and take business of beating the team that beat you in the regular season when it counted the most in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And again, people were saying, I mean, go back to what you were saying about how the Redskins totally just blew out the Dolphins the year before. Because I'm going to tell you something, and granted, it's not on your level, but I had to listen to that at Florida, listening to when the Raiders were playing the Super Bowl against the Redskins in the dorm, full of Dolphin fans. They're saying like, "Oh man, Raiders, you guys are going to get your asses whooped so bad. You're going to be, and blah, 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 blah," just the chirping that I heard. And honestly, Reggie, the best thing I can say, and people that know me know this, I had them in their rooms because I was in the main room in the dorm, like the community room, watching the Super Bowl. And I had them in their rooms by the end of halftime. Right, that was right after Jack Squirick made the touchdown. That just put it away. So they were in their rooms. I had the whole community room basically to myself because they knew that the Raiders were kicking that ass. And they were gone. And then they had the audacity to throw me in the pond And at Florida, as you know, there are alligators in the pond when you go up to Gainesville. So all of these bastards grabbed me, took me down a flight of stairs and threw me in the pond right outside where the dorm was. And obviously quick enough for me to get my ass out of there because, there are gators in there. And then that was after the Raiders kicked ass in the Super Bowl. And then the next year, they threw me in the same pond because they got their asses kicked by the Niners the very next year. And I made the golf clap, about how Dan Marino, he had a record for the Super Bowl. It said, well, hey, at least he did that. So again, they were pissed off at that and they threw me in the pond because of that. Because the Raiders were the Raiders, the Dolphins were the Dolphins, and Dan Marino to this day still does not have a Super Bowl ring. He can go find one on eBay.
Wait a minute. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and
I know.
And man, that's one team I couldn't stand.
Oh, thank you.
I couldn't stand that team. And they had this record out when they won, 16 games. I think it was 70, 71. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. I used to hear that on the radio. Oh, it drove me damn crazy. It drove me crazy. So all my friends I played ball with in high school, they always said, man, I don't know why Don Shula didn't draft you. I said, I don't want to come play for no Dolphins. I couldn't. I wasn't a big Dolphin fan. And to put icing on the cake, my rookie year, the Dolphins came to the Coliseum, Oakland Coliseum, and Bob Greasy was quarterback. And me and Willie Jones, he's from Dade, he's from South Dade. I was from North Dade, and he went to Florida State, and I went to Oklahoma. So we had a bet who's gonna get the most sacks. Guess who won? Yours truly. 3 sacks on Bob Greasy my rookie year. Oh, I was loving it. That was the best night of my life. And yes, I went around Larry Little a couple of times. They was back in their age, almost by time to retire, but hey, they were still on the field, right?
Yeah. Little and Kuchenberg, that was a decent. And was Jim Langer still their center at the time, or had he gone off? So there you go, Langer, Kuchenberg, and Larry Little. Yep. Those are and those are the guys around, and you're going around. Good for you. Good for you. You beat those. Yeah,
that was the best day of my night. And Mr. What's his name? Wide receiver for the Dolphins.
Nat Moore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've had conversations with him. Trust me, I've had conversations with him.
Mr. Matt Moore told me, he said after the game was over, he goes, see, if you'd have went to University of Florida, you'd have got drafted higher. That's what he told me. I said, screw you, buddy. He said you'd have got drafted higher, you'd have made more money. I said, no, I'm at the place I wanted to be. Hey, it was all about being a Raider. I mean, I put that uniform on, I'm a Raider. And it's some guys that I love to talk to, and they helped me become a Raider. We were talking about older sister in meetings and stuff. Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, those guys like that. Talking to Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, and Ted Hendricks, people like that. Just, Cliff Branch. I mean, dang, man, you go on and on, it just go on and on.
And you go to the Raiders, you win 2 Super Bowls, and then unfortunately, I gotta ask, because that's your team. You said either the Steelers, I'm gonna say it correctly, the Stillers, that's how they pronounce it up there, or the Raiders, and you got a chance to play for the Raiders. You win 2 Super Bowls. You're just walking. You're walking high. But what happened? The aftermath. You go to the Seahawks. And what was it like when you had to leave Oakland to go to the Seahawks? A division rival at that. I mean, division rival at that time as well. Talk about that.
Well, I kind of was very disappointed. I mean, I know it comes down to finance and politics and all kinds of stuff, you know. But when I was talking to Earl Leggett, you know, he said he didn't want me to go. He wanted me to stay on the team. It was Al's decision. Al Davis made a decision, and you know, Howie Long came and spoke to me out there, and Greg Townsend, you know, Kenny was there, and a couple other guys. You know, it kind of hurt a lot. I mean, you know, once I left and went home and just sat there I was out on the patio by my pool, just sitting there, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And so it happened later on, I got a call from the Seahawks. So I took that opportunity, but got there, it was overcast like for the 2 months. I mean, didn't even see the sun. I'm like, I'm from California, came from California, Seahawks, in Seattle. I got there, it was, you know, they accepted me. You know, they knew who I were. You know, Kirk Warner, Kenny Easley, Jacob Green, Joe Nash, they accepted me. I didn't have no beef with nobody. I was just there, you know, to help them. And you always think when a player go to another team that they play all the time, they'll start asking questions. No, don't come asking me no damn questions about the Raiders. You should know the Raiders more than I do because you play them twice a year. You guys know who you're playing against, and you should know them from the top to the bottom. Don't ask me no question about what about this player? What about it? Don't ask me no question. That was it. I just left it like that. Chuck Noll, excellent coach. Had some great players, but had some players on the team that didn't believe. That's my opinion. I mean, didn't believe, and then you had players that bust their butt and wanted to win. So my last year there, we was 11-5, and we were sitting around waiting for a couple of teams to lose to get in the playoffs. So we have a meeting, a team meeting, and Chuck gets up there and he says, I just got a phone call from the travel agency, and they told me several of you guys already booked your reservation to fly home. I'm like, huh? Wait a minute. What is this? I mean, you know, they didn't believe, you know, great fans. Steve Logic was an excellent player. A lot of great players, Kurt Warner, but they just couldn't get over that hump.
And I just put in the column. People have questions for you, and I'm going to let them ask them after your remembrances of your career, because I'll have that like fresh off the kind of like an intermediate thing.
Okay.
Because after that, then we're going to talk. Then we're going to talk about the meat. So if you guys got something that you want to have Reggie answer, we will do that after some of the things that I've asked him. Obviously, your memories are higher with the Raiders. I will ask these though as well. The person that you played against that you found was like the hardest person that you had to play, you know, offensive line type plays, or maybe even a team or a system, somebody that you hated to play this person or this team, and why?
Lord have mercy, why you had to bring that up. Jack, Dwight Stevenson.
All right.
The guy was the baddest center I ever played against. And at this point, he became the first African American become a center to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't no African American center in the NFL, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was the best. And I want to say Weber from Pittsburgh, great. Brian from Denver Broncos, great center. I think those was like the top 3 players I ever played against. But Dwight Stevenson kicked my butt. You hear me? He kicked my butt. I had 1 sack. I had 1 tackle the whole damn game. 60 minutes of football, I had 1 play. 1 play. But he was, to me, he was the best.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Stevenson's a Hall of Famer. Webster's a Hall of Famer. Brian was definitely a consistent All-Pro at Denver. So you're at least picking guys that, I wouldn't be if I were saying that I had those people to play against. I'm not ashamed to say that.
No, I'm not ashamed of it. I mean,
I'm sorry, that's not the right word, but it's like throwing it out there.
Yeah, I just, I cringe when somebody asks me that because I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
It just go come off of my head. And then I'm pretty sure it's a lot of other people thinking the same way I'm thinking. But I'm glad I had the opportunity to play with these guys because, like you say, they're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, and how many times you could say you played in front of a Hall of Fame and even make plays, you know what I'm saying? But hey, you asked me the question, I gave you the truth.
Oh, I got you. And here's an addition remember, folks, get your questions ready because I'm gonna say this, and then I'll get to some of the questions that you had as well. Was there any person that you played against? And I have one in mind that was probably the dirtiest, nastiest, or just they were a pain in your ass. Other than, obviously those are Hall of Famers. Did you have any shall we say, interaction with anybody that was like I'll just say Conrad Dobler, anybody mean, nasty, or despicable? And by the way, may Conrad rest in peace. I have interviewed him. Great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy. But just like Lyle, when the helmet's on, the lights are on, and he is doing everything that he can to kick your ass. So again, not but anything but praise for Conrad Dobler. And again, may he rest in peace. May Lyle rest in peace. But was there anybody that you found really, truly was just that person that you hated to play against, or was dirty, or anything along those lines? I think that's something that you might have had that beyond Webster or Dwight Stevenson.
I think John Hanna
of the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots. I remember my rookie year, and we're on the goal line, and I'm the tackle inside, line up right in front of him. He just started laughing and said, "Oh fuck, I got a rookie in front of me. I'm gonna kick you." I'm like, he just started talking trash to me, and he did everything he could. I got low as him, and I got under him, and I'm feeling punches and nubbing and sticking and elbows and stuff. I think he was a great player. He wasn't a dirty player, but he talked crap to you. I put it that way. I think now I'm gonna go with John Hanna for me.
Okay. See, that's fun things. That's fun thing. Okay, yeah. I'm going to try to get to some of the questions, okay? And I think Go Power Raider, Power Raider. He says he wants to have you out over at some of the events again. He said, do you know how many tackles you had in your career? Was that not accounted for back in your day?
It was somewhat, but I think it started when they started the sacks, like the late 80s. Was it the late 80s when they started the sacks?
Yeah, because they weren't really accounted for back then. And that's why they had to go back and give Greg a lot more than what he had, you know, because he has quite a few. He's up on the sacks leaders all time.
Yeah,
so,
and then they went back they found a couple for Howie too. Yeah, but I don't know the total of tackles, but I only had like 8 sacks my whole career, so maybe that helped. I don't know.
But you had that meant things.
Yeah, but I can tell you this: my senior year in college, I led the league, football college league in tackles at my position, my senior year in college.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So take that, all you downhorn people from UT. You know, take that. Okay, there you go. Nabman says, is Lyle the nastiest player you ever played with that was different off the field?
Yes, it's a close run. Yeah, Lyle is the nastiest. I mean, he just, yeah, he is the he is the one. Yeah, and like I said, you know, nicest guy once you take that helmet off. I mean.
Okay. Transplant Angelo asked, did Lyle ever talk to you about him boxing? See, again, I knew Angelo would have a boxing sort of question as well, because Lyle boxed Muhammad Ali. Did he ever talk to you about that?
No, he never talked about it. I seen it on TV, and we knew when he got there. We knew all about it. We were just kind of happy he was there with us. I mean, I don't know how they worked out that deal, but just having him on the side of me, it was a plus. I knew about the boxer.
Yeah, I know that. Was he a Raider at the time, or was he a Bronco?
No, Bronco.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, because I know the Broncos were not very happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he almost kicked Muhammad's butt, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. And Angela also says, lining up in practice with Dalby and Mosbar, what were their similarities and differences in how they played?
Dave Dalby was an all-pro at his position. Like, we had Jim Otto, then it was Dave Dalby for centuries. He had good leverage. Mosbar, I thought at that time was too tall to be a center, but he had good leverage. Oh, Mosbar, he was a monster too.
Yeah, out of USC. Yeah.
Yeah, he kicked a lot of butts, man. I mean, unfortunately he had to wait his turn, because Dave Darby, played for umpteen years, and Mosbar had to wait till he retired to get that position. But they're two good players, man, that that they made me better and I made them better.
Thor of the Raider Nation Drinking Club, I had to look R&D. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what this is. So Thor asked you, when you're going to initiate yourself into the Raider Nation Drinking Club. Kenny, your roommate, did it on the cruise, and he also mentions that, yes, I am a member, and I am a non-drinker, Reggie. I swear.
I know.
But in order to be a member, and I'm sure Thor will tell you, it's a beer, a shot of, I think, tequila. And a shot of something else. But it's in succession, like within, I want to say, a minute. Yeah.
I know. I seen him do it on the cruise. That's okay. Kenny.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe one day.
Okay. See, Thor, he did not say no. He said maybe. He said
one day.
Okay. Because again, I did it just cause, and they know that. And it was Hennessy. Well, Hennessy's good.
Oh yeah, you do Hennessy? Oh yeah, I do the Hennessy. But
yeah,
not
Hennessy
tequila.
And vodka, see, for you, he said Hennessy and vodka and beer?
No, I can't take the vodka out. I'll do Hennessy and beer.
Well, hey, Thor, special dispensation. Special dispensation. Reggie will do a double Hennessy, not a double Hennessy, but 2 shots of Hennessy and the beer, and then he will be official. See, I'm your agent, Reggie. I'm your
Jack.
agent.
Thanks, Jack. Tell him to take that vodka out. I'll even do a triple shot of Hennessy.
Okay. Yep. But he says you got to do it. Well, you know what? At one time, like an Irish car bomb, maybe, but it'd be like a triple Hennessy. Hey, Thor, we'll talk about it. Well, I'm his agent. I'm his agent. Okay. Yo is asking. Okay. And this is actually, I don't see any other questions, but I will get to them. And this is kind of like a segue. Okay. Yo, who is my buddy Keith, who was with you on the cruise, you had the breakfast with him. Who are the interior linemen you think are impressive these days? That's a great segue question because we are going to go right to the meat. We've talked about the Raiders of the past. We talked about the people that you've had, your highlights of. Think that you're impressive, the people that you're impressed with these days.
Well, you talking about the Raiders or in general?
In general, interior linemen that you think are impressive. And Thor is saying, nah, Thor's not backing down. He says initiation is initiation. You guys can talk about that, but we'll go back to interior linemen that you think are impressive.
I like Max. Max can be a Raider, and I feel his pain right now, because everybody ain't stepping up to his level. If we had 10 other Max on that defense, we'll be a monster. But I'm not knocking the defense because you can't play the whole damn game either. All right.
Thank you.
You can't play the whole game and expect to take it from me. I know to perform at your high ability when you're on the field a lot. There's a couple of guys. See, to me, when I watch a game, because I'm a defensive lineman, I like to watch the defensive linemen that use their hands. You lock in with the offensive lineman. You put your head on the swivel. You find the ball. You get rid of this guy, and you go make the tackle. To me, this is my opinion. All right. To me, this is my opinion. There's a lot of inside tackles, ends, and everything. Do not use their hands enough and get off blocks. Right? You have responsibility. I know with a 4-man line, you want to shed your blockers so your inside linebackers can make plays. See, back in the day, that wasn't my theory. I know I had Matt Millen and Bob Nelson in the back of me. Forget them two. I'm going to make the play. That's my job. I have 2 responsibilities, gap 1 and 2. And there's my responsibility, and I'm going to try my best to get off my block to go try to make a tackle. So my opinion, there's a handful. I can't name them right now, but there's a handful of them that, play the line the way it's supposed to be played. And then, I'm not knocking them from that. It could be a slant situation where you don't have no choice. You slant this way, hey, you don't have a choice. But if you play a base defense, fundamental football is you take on the block, you get rid of the block, go find the ball. That would never change. A lot of things in football, blocking, tackling, catching the ball, running the ball, and throwing the ball, that would never change. The those are basic things right there. You know, don't wait on your partner. Don't think he's gonna make the play. No, you go make the play. You be the first one to make the play. That's my opinion.
No, I mean I agree with you. It's like why put off and schlep off your responsibility? Your responsibility is to make the tackle. Okay. And if you can't make the tackle, your responsibility is to cause as much havoc to the other team so that it is easier for the guy behind. And again, Nelson and Matt Millen behind you. Yeah. But that's only if you can't make the tackle. But you're saying you're going to make the tackle. And I agree with that. And even Nabman says that you were the gear that made the machine work. And that's next level appreciation by your teammates. Lester Hayes said that you were the cog. Okay. And even Nabman says that the jersey that they have of you is guarded above all others, that she has a bunch of them in her stable. Not a young Raider fan. Her 71 is not signed. 71 is actually Piquel, Navman.
Yeah.
You need a 62. You need a 62 to get signed if it's not already. I guess maybe they do have a Bill Piquel, and maybe I guess they're saying, can you get Bill Piquel to sign the jersey? I'll ask. I'll
Well, yeah, to be honest with you, he showed up in the last two Raider alumni weekend. So
we'll work on it.
Work on that. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I actually got at a what is it, an estate sale. I got a Bill Piquel autograph that was part of the estate. So I do have Bill's order, which is nice because I haven't really ever seen that. So that was, something good. I was going to say, Angelo said, is there anybody currently that reminds you of the Reggie Kinlaw of 2025 playing? Sure. Yeah, currently in college or in the pros, is somebody that is, maybe undersized, but has the heart. Remember, it's not the size of the dog; it's the dog in the fight, or what they're trying to say. Yeah. The size of the fight and the dog. Somebody that reminds you of you currently playing today, either in college or in pros.
Like I said, there's a handful of guys that I think is pretty decent inside. And you got to also remember that there's no more 3-4 defense. It's a 4-man line now. You don't have no nose guard. I mean, how many teams that usually go with the 3-4 defense? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I put it this way. I hope they're better than me. Or they should be better than me because they should be bigger. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster, can do anything, dunk basketballs, and they just unbelievable athletes right now. Because back when we was playing, I think the biggest guy we had on the team was Art Shell. And Art was, he was probably 10 pounds close to 300 or 5 pounds close to 300. That was it. So you got defensive linemen now is, 300 and up. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just, you see, that's the part I can't understand. You that big and your offensive player is the same size as you. I know they have the snap count, but you got to be able to read the head or read something to, to get engaged with them and then find the ball. Okay. Next question.
No. And see that is also a good segue as well about something that I, in particular, obviously, about the team that we love to watch.
Right.
We love to watch. I've been there, and I'm not going to go on a soapbox to say how pissed off I am because people know it. Okay. When I go to every Raider game so far, and that's not me, I'm not slapping myself on the back going, yay for me. But I put a lot into it because I care. And I sometimes feel like the fans, the nation, it looks like they care more. And maybe it's just not just me, but they care more than what the product that we see on the field. And I will say, and I'm going to say this, Reggie, and yes, this is personal. There are fucktwats, and I think that's the first bad word I've said all day. I think that's the first one. There are fucktwats out there that call themselves fans, that all they do is self-advertise themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And now the show, look how I can be seen and do, and they get on the team non-positively. And I'm not like that. I will call it when somebody's messed up or somebody is not performing, I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to do things positively. But as you and I know, we look at what the product is on the field. And the Raiders are 2-5 right now. And now is the time to go. If Reggie Kinlaw is being the role of Pete Carroll and John Spytek and anybody else that has any power, what is Reggie Kinlaw going to do to fix the Raiders? Because I'll give you mine after I hear from you.
Well, it's my theory. I went to a watch party with one of the booster clubs when they played the Indianapolis Colts, and I really feel bad for the fans because we talking about diehard Raider fans. I mean, win or lose, they there. I mean, and they suck it up, and they're gonna be there next week too. Just like we just stunk up the place in Kansas City. After this bye week, they'll be in Allegiant Stadium cheering them on again because they diehard fans. I heard one of the guys mentioned say, be patient, okay? Because you got a new head coach, and Lord knows how many new coaches been coming in here. Okay, you got a new head coach, you got a whole new coaching staff other than a couple of guys, new players, players that got to buy in what the coaches are putting down. Okay, this just my theory. Coaches got to coach, and players got to play. All right, if you don't want to be out there, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. I mean, nobody mentioned this, but we might be in a rebuilding stage. Okay.
We are, but nobody wants to use that word, Reggie. And that's
nobody.
Yeah, we are. We are rebuilding. We're not retooling. We're not reloading. We're fucking rebuilding.
Yeah, because we got a new coach. We got new player. We got lots of good talent. Okay, that's the part that I don't understand. When you got a lot of talent, we done had players come in and out, and something just have to change. I mean, somebody got to step up and be leaders. For one example, in 1980, when we was the year we went to the Super Bowl, we lost 2 games in a row. We had a team meeting. Gene Upshaw held that meeting. He was always a leader. I mean, to this day. And we got back on the right track after that. We always had leaders on the sideline. Me personally, when I look on the sideline, I don't see no leaders. I don't see nobody. I don't see coaches. I don't see players pumping each other up, saying, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know, that's what we had back in the day. We had guys come up, like I said, Willie Brown. He'd go around pumping you up. I mean, you know, Art Shell, when he retired. I mean, you know, the coaches, I mean, you know, a defensive line coach. I mean, you know, Earl tell you in a minute, hey, y'all better fucking get this shit together, you know. But I don't see that, and it ain't the player, it ain't the coaches, it's everybody. It's some of everybody. Everybody got their foot in this, and I go places. I still wear my Raider stuff because I'm proud to be a Raider. You know, I ain't gonna stop wearing it. I just wish these guys come together with this week off. You know, they kind of put it together and start putting it on the field. That's all I can say, man. That's all I can say.
Okay.
And, you know, another thing, Jack, you know, they do have a hard schedule. You know, for the past 3 years, the Raiders' schedule it's been tough, man. You know, and that's not an excuse. And I know we got to coach these guys up, and they got to buy into what the coach is putting down and put it on the damn field.
Okay. I'm gonna ask your opinion. Because remember, this is, and you, for those that are coming in late, I will, and if I'm wrong, Reggie, tell me I'm wrong. You said that everything that you said is your opinion.
My opinion.
It's not company speak. It's not something that I fed you. This is coming from your heart and your mind. Okay. So I'm going to ask, and Ed Winchell asks, we need money to do a proper rebuild, and Mark Davis won't spend his money.
What?
Opinions on that statement?
He's not spending his money.
Again, this is a statement. Would you agree with that statement or not? or even quantify that by what are your thoughts on Mark Davis and the team? We can elaborate on that.
Well, like I always tell people, Mark Davis ain't out there playing. Pete Carroll ain't out there playing. Mark is Al Davis' son, and he's bringing in the people that he think can turn the team around. I mean, that's his opinion. Okay, he bringing in the people that he think can turn the team around. Then the coaches are bringing in players that they think can turn the team around. Okay, spending money. These guys are getting big contracts, man. I mean, some real unknown contracts. This team is coughing up money. I don't understand that he won't spend money. I'm like, what? Gino got what, 3-year deal for $36 million?
And again, I don't know the kind, but for folks saying that he's not spending money, there is a, and I'm not sure where it is. There's a graphic. Look up how much money Mark Davis is spending on people that aren't with the fucking team anymore.
Oh, yeah. The people that's still getting checks?
Yeah, the people that are still getting checks, right?
Yeah.
He's spending money, and unfortunately, some of that money is for people that have no ties to the team. Yeah. The coaches and the coordinators and the old GMs. That's a lot of money be putting out for people that have no ties to making this team perform. So he at least is trying to do that process. I agree that, you know, he's at least trying. Mark, in my estimate, and again, I'm not a soapbox for the team. I've said stuff about the team, but I will say at least he's trying. He's trying to, like you said, he's trying to bring in the coaches that he thinks can build this team. Mm-hmm. He brought in Pete. He brought in Tom Brady as a advisor / partial owner or whatever you want to call him. And Brady brought in Spytek. They brought in Chip Kelly, the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL today. So at least they're trying. They put a lot of money into Geno Smith, which doesn't look like a good thing at this point. But I've said, Reggie, and maybe you might agree with me, offensive lineman. We need to build the lineup offensively and defensively before this team can make a run. Because I'm a lineman, you're a lineman. I'm not a pro lineman like you, but I am an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. They have been bringing in offensive line. We drafted 2 last year, right? Jack?
Yeah, but where are they, Reggie? Would you put them in? Would you put them in? Well, I would. They can't play any worse than the schmucks we got up there now.
Yeah, well, like I said, okay, they got to be coach. You got to be coach. All right. I don't know. You know, we get this great running back, and I love what he can do, but he need help. Like I said, fundamental, blocking, tackling. I mean, those are fundamentals of football, but maybe they not getting what the coach is putting down. I don't know. We had some of these guys for what, 2-3 years now? But then when you start getting in new coaches every year, then you got to learn a whole new system. That's just one of the big faults of this team is that, we keep getting these coaches, coming in, coming out, and it's kind of hard to break habits from another coach and then, start learning how to do something from another coach. So, like I said, I'm not blaming the coaches and not blaming the players. I'm blaming everybody. I mean, because that Sunday, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. 3 first downs and a total of 100 yards.
Yeah, and 20 offensive plays, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 30. And the other team had 31 first downs or something ridiculous like that. And Reggie, I honestly say there's nothing harder, except for being a player. I get that. But there's nothing harder as a fan than to watch this from opening kickoff to closing 000 in the stadium. Because I stayed, and I was in Kansas City, stayed till the end. I was there in Indianapolis, staying to the end. I was there in D.C. with a chirpy over my shoulder the entire time, staying, listening to this. Okay? Yeah. And again, I'm not a player. I appreciate there's the players, the team. I get that. But it's hard watching this shit. Yeah. And I know that you as a player, you're watching it on the screen, and I'm sure you probably want to throw a brick at the TV at times.
Yeah, I got this sponge.
I got the same one.
It's like a little Raider sponge, and I throw it at the TV. I was one of them. But
bad call brick, the bad call brick. I got that. Yep, I got that.
As an ex-player, we can't stand Kansas City, and just to go down there and just lay an egg, that unacceptable. Unacceptable, especially your rivalry team. This not a rivalry game anymore. It's just becoming one-sided. But I just, I'm going to think positive. I'm going to be patient. You got to be patient. Well, that's what I expect you guys to do. But it's with this bye week, something got to change. I'm hoping it'll change, and these guys get their head on the straight on their head. They buying into a new system. I mean, we got new coaches and new players, and I don't know, man. I don't know what I don't know the pinpoint of it. I can't pinpoint it, but like I said, it's everybody. I'm not pointing no finger at nobody. And Mark is doing the best he can. I mean, he getting guys in here he think could turn the team around. But,
and I appreciate that. So for you schmucks out there that are screaming at Gino, not Gino, Pete Carroll, you're on the hot seat, Pete. You, sir, are a fucktwad.
Yeah. That's the part I don't understand. They want to get rid of the guy. I've been reading stuff that I'm going to get rid of Pete Carroll, and then I've been hearing stuff about Mark sell the team. I'm like, what?
Mark selling the team.
Mark ain't gonna sell this team.
No.
Come on, man. And Pete just got here. He got a 3-year contract, right?
Yeah.
So give him some time. I mean, let's see what happened. I mean, this what people expected they going to the playoffs this year. No.
I mean, I expected them to. I told people, I said this team will be better than last year. They won 4 games last year. I'm hoping I'm right there. But as you say, getting better is not necessarily a wins and losses thing, although it should be. Okay. Or I should say it shouldn't be. Getting better is buying into the system and getting homogenized as a team. Mm-hmm. That's why I said this is year 0 of the Pete Carroll regime. Year 0, not even year 1, because the players need to buy in. And by the end of this year, then it's really year 1. But there are players from the Gruden regime. There are players from the McDaniels regime. There are players from the Antonio Pierce regime. And now there are players under the Pete Carroll regime and all of the GMs that were there. And they're all on the roster.
Yeah.
And they all got to buy in. And if you're not buying in, you'll be gone. Because even college coaches have a weed out process where they take their freshman class. Reggie was in that freshman class at Oklahoma, won a national championship, and then was competitive each year in the Big 8. Okay. But it was going through the process. I'm a fan of Pete Carroll. And I know he's going to do things, and it's going to take a while. I know that Pete probably thought that this was going to be a little easier, but he wasn't thrown a great team to begin with. And I said that because look what we did. 4 wins last year. Maybe thought, we expect 10 wins. Pete probably did expect 10 wins, but they got to build it out.
Yeah.
So
it's totally different what you see at practice until you get on that field. Okay. That is totally free. I mean, all the summer league, all the summer stuff they've been doing together, doing the camaraderie and stuff like that. But, you got to buy into the system of these coaches, what they putting down for you. And, just play, man. It ain't no Raider football to me. It's not Raider football to me. And that's one of the disappointing I have. Like, because, I know we could do better. But patient, I got that.
okay.
And stress, I don't stress. So we'll see.
We'll have to when I get back to Vegas, we'll have to go and have a nice meal together. Hopefully, if I can get you out of the house with permission,
I can get out of the house. What, you gonna come down for Jacksonville game?
I'm there every game. I'm there every game. I will be there for the Jacksonville game. Although that Friday I'm actually flying to Reno because there's a parade on Saturday. So I'm flying into Reno, and then I'm flying to Vegas on Saturday. Unfortunately, like Saturday evening, but I'll be there for that weekend, and every home game I'm gonna be there.
Hey Jack, do you when do you leave? You leave Monday or right after the game?
I leave on Monday, sir.
Oh, where you stay at?
Normally a Hilton property.
Oh, okay.
So it'll probably, except for maybe one of the last games, I'll probably be up at the Hilton Twin Towers up by the Strat. So that's where. Now, normally I was at the Alara, but I couldn't get into the Alara this year. So that's where I have my property at. But I'm usually at the Strat. So if you want to, and trust me, just give me a ring and I'll let you know what's going on. And
well,
I was
let me know what you're doing, because hey, I'm retired. Just give me a call.
I got it, and I tell you, Reggie, if Social Security comes through for me,
okay,
then I'm retired too.
Oh, okay.
If they come through for me, and fingers crossed, then I'm officially retired. I was unofficially retired as of 2 years ago because of the bullshit that was thrown upon me by my ex-employer. May they kiss my ass. So I was unofficially retired as of 2 years ago, but now I hopefully be officially retired. And Angelo says him, you, me going out to China Mama in Vegas, because China Mama has great Chinese food. And so he's making plans there. So we can try to coordinate with that. And I was going to say, I am going to read a super, and I thank you, Navman, for the $5, asking for a shout out at Raider Transplant. The dude dealing with this stuff is the game. Okay, yes, and for all intents and purposes, Angelo, the same person that is talking about China Mama, is going through chemo for some of his ailments, and he wanted to make sure that we gave a shout out to Raider Transplant Angelo. Great gentleman that he is. So, and thank you, Navman, for that. And even Angelo says appreciate that there. So at least we know at least one Chinese dinner that we might be able to get to as well. But okay. I will say this again, and I will hit you up because I appreciate that. We got to get Poncho out with us too.
Poncho?
Yeah. Because I told Poncho we need to do something as well, and I'm waiting on Poncho, because Poncho's a good people to hang out with.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it don't work out any other home game, if you busy that Jaguar game, later on in the year or something, just hit me up.
Sir, as I said, I am going to be there for the Jaguars, the Browns, the Broncos, the last Chiefs game. I'm missing a game. Cowboys. Yeah, I'm there. So we'll do something for a hookup on that.
Okay, sounds good.
I will say this, and again, thank you for that. I'm keeping it up, Navman, for the shout out. I'm going to ask before I go, Reggie, what are you doing now that you would like to make sure that people know about? You say you're retired, but I know you're not. I know you're not just hanging out. I know you got things that are going on that I want to give you time to give you a shout out that you would like to talk about for any pet projects or things that you want to discuss.
Oh, only thing I'm doing is trying to stay healthy, eat right, going to the gym twice a week, doing a couple of things. I've been doing some little yoga, and I had a couple of replacements. Knees and hip. I'm still doing things for the Raiders. Matter of fact, that Jaguar game, I'll be visiting some suites, signing autograph, and I think it's the Capitol Suite. And going out doing function, they have flag football. We do toss the corner flag football, and they got a veterans homeless like a charity event this Friday. So the Raiders kind of keeping me busy, doing different things for charity and all kinds of stuff. So that's what I do. I'm still getting in my naps. So hey.
I'm doing that this weekend because I don't have to travel.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing
that's right. You got the bye week.
Right. My mid-season nap. I got a bunch of honeydews and catching up on other things. I'm going to see my son for his birthday 2 weeks late because I haven't been home.
Late.
Yeah, because I haven't been home. Now he lives on the east coast of Florida. I live on Tampa. So I said, I'm not here. I'm not here any other week. I said, come by the weekend of the 24th, the 20, whatever the dates are. I said, come back that weekend. And he understands. He knows. Yeah, I got it, Jay. I'll be there. So
how old is your son?
He's my stepson. He is 40. He says 77. There's 7, 8, 7, 9, 7, 7, 17. 45, 46. Stepson.
Okay.
Stepson. But yeah, born in 77, and he's coming over for his 46th birthday. By the way, I have more hair than my stepson. For those that
Jack, let me tell you something.
Yes,
Quit
sir.
saying stepson. That's your son.
It is my son.
Well, don't tell people it's stepson. Just say your son.
I do say my son.
No, you just told me stepson.
No, because people know that my family is what when my wife brought in there is what she brought, so we're all our family.
Yeah. Well, he's your son.
He is my son, and okay. My daughter through the same loop. I didn't catch him in time, folks. I swear I didn't catch him in time because my son is a Charger fan. Yeah, I didn't catch him in time, and my daughter is a Charger/Cowboy fan because her husband, their family are all Cowboy fans. So I didn't catch him. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. So that's the only reason why I have to say the SDP, because if they were mine for real, there wouldn't be none of that. There would be none.
I know, but these young kids today, you just got to deal with it.
I got it, and like I said, they are my kids through the marriage, and we get along fantastic. But people, because they ask, they're like, because of their age, that's the reason why I have to annotate that they are not from. Because I'm 60. If he's 46, you do the math, folks. If my son is 46 and I'm 60. You do the math, like 13. That's the only reason why I say it.
Yeah,
and Robert Bigler, my buddy that is in Kansas City, he said at least they're not Chiefs fans. And Robert Bigler is a fantastic Chiefs fan. So yes, I will be with my son on his birthday 2 weeks late.
Okay. Because
he's working over in if you need your car done, he works at Tire Kingdom. But here in Florida, when you come home, if you come home, Reggie, he's in what was it? Melbourne. So Melbourne. You know Melbourne, and that's a 2-hour ride.
Yeah.
That's a 2-hour ride. But if you need if you need your car done or any family, tell them to go up a little bit from SoFla to Melbourne, and they'll get their tires done at a place that'll take care of them.
All right.
But yeah, I would, sir. I want to thank you personally for all of the things for all the time spent. Yeah. I definitely will look to hang out with you again. And if I didn't say this before in pregame, I thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
No. Thanks for having us.
No, because we we all the OGs. We OGs, man. So it's good to be still thinking of. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not because of the circumstances, just because. It's just because. And we appreciate, like I tell everybody, we appreciate the Raider fans and and this time of moment, I tell everybody just hang in there, and they gonna hang in there. You guys gonna continue to be Raider fans, regardless of what situation, And you guys go way back, and we appreciate you, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of players on that team appreciate you too. So it's patient. We gonna our big subject right now is patient right now. Okay, we gonna think patient, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, I'm in. I've been in for 53 years, and that's from. Yeah. Robert just finally coming board. Yes, the 2-time Super Bowl champion Reggie Kinlaw. Robert Bigler figured it out. That's and he is my chief buddy. So yes, 2-time Super Bowl champion Reggie Kinlaw. Yes, Robert. Great guy that he is. So yeah, that you're here. Patience is there. I'm in for 53 out of Philly. So I always say that, if I'm a Raider fan that's sticking through from Philadelphia,
right,
since 72, you wanted to be a Raider. I've always loved the Raiders. So we have that kindred thing. You got a chance to put on the uniform. I get a chance to put on my uniform,
right,
which is my gear, to come out with Raider Nation, and I love that. I do love that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, and Angela says we got to keep it under 2 hours, so we definitely. Angela, it's going to be a little bit over, so just end it. Oh, yep, I got to end it. Reggie, please stop. Please stay. I got to end it. Angela said we can cut this. If I cut it down to 2 hours.
Okay.
Don't go nowhere. We'll see everybody on this. Take care. Ending the stream. Thank you, Reggie Kinlaw. Don't go nowhere, sir.